Okay, so what you got to do is if you hold it flat at 12 o'clock, it's a sharper sound, but it gives you more resistance. So then that causes this, right? You got the wrist of the arm. But if you turn it at 1 o'clock, then you can get more glide out of it. Now, a lot of guys will say, what if I turn it at 11 o'clock like this? Yeah, a lot of guitarists do that, like George Benson, Steve Morse, especially Carlos Santana. He holds the pick with it at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. The point being that if you hold it at 12 o'clock, it's going to snag, which sounds sharper, but it forces you to lock up over here.
Gotcha.
If you turn it at an angle, it's much easier to glide, and whatever angle you want, you know. This angle here, people hold the pick with 2 fingers and do that angle, and their wrist like that. I've seen a lot of guys do that. What's that guy? Who was the guy? Was it Megadeth? Marty Cheeto? Marty Feldman? What was his name?
Don't know.
Marty Feldman was Young Frankenstein.
Was the guy that was in Young Frankenstein.
Yeah. Marty Friedman and Marty Feldman. Yeah, Marty Feldman from Megadeth, right? No, Marty Friedman. I'm going to call him Marty Feldman from now on, man. He'll get all pissed off at me and send me an email.
You should put a video out.
He's a phenomenal player. So the angle is what you want to pay attention to when you from right out of the gate. Is that you want to be aware of the angle. If you hold it flat, it will snag. It's playable, but you have to lock up when you have a snag. And see, that turns into elbow and arm picking like that.
So when you say 12 o'clock, are you referring to holding it parallel to the string or perpendicular to it?
Well, if the guitar is 12 o'clock like this,
yep,
the pick is going to be at a line like that, like this.
Oh, I see. So parallel to it, yeah.
So 1 o'clock is going to be like that.
Gotcha.
And 11 o'clock will be the opposite, like that. I can't even do it like that.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you.
But what I'm saying is, a lot of guys argue with me and say, "Well, I hold the pick at 11 o'clock." I go, "Well, that's fine, you know. Just the point is, you know, you work with what you got. You know, I'm just saying the advantage of turning it at an angle means it'll glide across the string rather than snag on the string. You know, and all those old acoustic players played with it at 12 o'clock, snagging on the string, so they were arm muscle players, man."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you watch Doc Watson, you could see it didn't slow him down at all, you know, and he was a tremendous player. And then there was a whole bunch of guys that were using those thumb picks, right?
Yeah.
And I started using one when I was like 14 because Johnny Winter used a thumb pick, but I didn't like the feeling of a thumb pick, you know, so I abandoned that right away. Yeah. But the trick here is to just do this. You want to do this every night. Go super slow, and find your own center of gravity where it feels right for you. Now, do you know the old 21-day adage? It takes 21 days for a new technique to feel not weird.
Okay.
So you got to give it the old 3-week try before you think it's not. After a week, it won't feel weird, I don't think.
Really just kind of a back and forth movement almost, huh?
Yeah, and you get a sock, you tie it around your strings so you can't hear it. You can watch a movie. You know, we're just getting the muscle memory and the movement. So, and if you go like this, the people in the same room will get irritated if you're trying to watch a movie or whatever, you know, on TV or whatever, streaming video, whatever, Netflix, whatever, you know.
Pornhub.
So we got you could mute it with your hand, or you could just tie a sock around there or a bandana or something. you know.
Well, lo and behold, I'm the only one here, so I think we're okay there.
Okay. So does everybody in Denver have big 4-wheel drives?
A lot of people do. Yeah, I've got
flannel shirts and 4-wheel drives and baseball caps.
It's a lot of I've lived here my whole life, and you know, the influx of people. It's a lot of baseball caps. A lot of people with their dogs in their Jeeps for sure.
Everybody drinks Coors.
No, it's
anymore.
all about microbrewing here, like brew.
See, that was a stereotype I had in my mind for all the old from the 70s. Everybody in Colorado has a 4-wheel drive, flannel shirt, a baseball cap, and they drink Coors.
It's pretty much it. The only way
they collect guns, right?
And guns. Well, of course, yeah. I went a little stir crazy and couldn't get a haircut, so I shaved all my hair off. So that's why I'm wearing a baseball hat. So.
So this exercise, you just sort of attack it on your free time, you know, every night.
Okay.
And that's the first one that you want to do. I can show you more, but I think maybe one more exercise would be good. So what we do is we hold down a chord. I like this chord like this. So that's on the, okay, let me backtrack a bit. The strings are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rhymes with thick.
Yep.
So this finger, the middle finger, is going to be on the 5th string on the 2nd fret. And then the ring finger is going to be on the 3rd string on the 2nd fret. Okay. So that's an E sus4 chord. Yeah. So now the first exercise we're going to do is we're going to go all downstrokes, but we're going to go downstrokes in both directions like this. Let me put the sheet up on the screen here. I'll get it for you.
So funny trying to play this guitar after playing my nylon string guitar for so long. It is the neck's like a quarter size.
My recommendation is to play both of them. All right, so here's the chord right here. So we are doing this exercise.
Gotcha.
So there's the chord, and we're just doing all downstrokes in both directions like this. Good. Okay, now let's do the second one, all upstrokes. So that's all up, but in both directions like this. So you're going.
Are you alternating up and down?
No, just all upstrokes.
Oh, all upstrokes. Okay.
Just up, 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 up.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay, then the third one, down, up. So we're going to go down on the 6th string, up on the 5th string, down on the 4th string, up on the 3rd string, down on the 2nd string, then up on the 1st string.
Oops.
Take it slower. Take it slower. There you go. There you go. So here's how I do it. Just so what I got is this here. So I'm just doing this. The lighting is kind of blaring. Okay. I'm still getting this in, right?
Yep. Is it helpful to use a metronome while you do that?
Not at first, because you're trying to just get the feel for it and you don't want to be pressuring yourself too much with a metronome.
Okay.
But they are very helpful for timing. It's just you're just getting your feet wet. So,
Yeah.
you know, one step at a time. If you feel like you want to, of course, you know, give it a shot, see if you could do it. But you don't have to, because it's your first week, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
you gotta just, you know, Jeff Berlin, one of the great bass players of all time, says he doesn't recommend practicing with a metronome, but using your own internal timing. And he swears by that. And I just say, well, you know, he obviously hasn't taught people that have lousy timing. He's only been around professional musicians.
Right.
And he hasn't tried to have a bunch of students that, you know, they can barely keep time at all, you know. Oddly enough, over the 40 years I've been teaching, all the students with the worst time are the ones who are the most heaviest video game players.
Really?
Yeah. Terrible eye to hand coordination, terrible timing, terrible coordination in their hands altogether. Gamers. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's a weird observation, but it's true across the board.
Well, I should be in good shape there because I don't play video games.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe some Pac-Man back in the day. That was
Okay,
about
so now
it.
let's go to this one here. We got so we're doing let's see. So we're doing all of these, right? We're doing this one. There's the angle right there, right?
Okay.
There's a thumb joint, and then we're doing this. Okay. Now, did I already send this to you in the email?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Let me get that done right this second, so I don't forget.
Okay. Sure.
All righty. So I sent you this in the email.
Okay.
All right. Now I also sent you the left hand exercises.
Okay.
So let me pop those on the screen, and then you're going to get those in your email in a second.
Okay.
Are you guys quarantining?
Oh, heck yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I got really upset yesterday. I went to you guys have Home Depot in Colorado, right?
Of course. Yeah.
I went to Home Depot yesterday, and there was a line outside, and the people who worked there painted little circles on the cement that were 6 feet apart, just to let people know this is 6 feet, wait here, wait here, wait here. I thought that's cool, but nobody was paying attention to that. They were all packed in there, and nobody wearing masks. And the women who were working the door were letting 5 people in at a time.
Yeah.
And they kept telling people, please observe the 6-foot rule, stand 6 feet apart. And they're all these knuckleheads acting all belligerent, like tough guy,
Yeah.
big guys, going, hey, screw you, we'll do whatever the hell we want, F you, bitch, all this kind of shit. And I'm looking at these guys going, if this is America, we're screwed,
Yeah, I've got a lot of concern for sure. I'm right there with you.
People
by and large, I think people
all belligerent. And these guys are acting all tough guy towards women. I was like, dude, if you keep it up, all they got to do is call the cops on you,
Yeah, and it's like, these people that work at those places are making $15 an hour just trying to do the best they can.
Yeah, and they're stressed out too, man,
Yeah. I'm right
wearing their little masks and stuff, and it's like, and I walked in, and like people are walking around interacting, and nobody's paying attention to the 6-foot rule. No, people not wearing masks. There were guys not wearing masks who were sneezing and coughing.
Oh my goodness.
I was like going out of my way to avoid people, trying to navigate in there, I was going, Jesus, man, this is horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty. I think we're lucky out west that we haven't seen what they have out east, but
yeah. And then I went to the grocery store, and there's some videos of this doctor in Michigan talking about how to shop for groceries and stuff. You seen that guy with the ponytail? He's an MD he's got a ponytail, and he's talking about how to properly put away your groceries and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he says, get your counter, put a piece of tape in the center. This is the unclean side. This is the clean side. Put all the groceries on the unclean side, and shows you how to wipe down each package with disinfectant and put it on the clean side. And it's pretty instructive video. But anyway, I go in the grocery store, and the rule is 6 feet. And before you go grocery shopping, you're supposed to plan what you need and go in, get it, get out, right? There's people in there in the aisles not wearing masks, picking up boxes, reading the ingredients, putting it back. Cell phone rings, they talk on the cell phone, and they start sneezing onto the packages on the shelves. And I'm going, this is absolutely horrific, man. We are doomed.
Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff. I think hopefully we're starting to see the worst of it, and we'll be on the tail end here soon, but who knows?
I'm very hopeful for the hot weather to be helpful.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Well, just stay safe, brother.
Trying real hard, but you end up having to go to the store,
Yeah. Are you doing all your lessons remotely now?
Got a few people in person, but we're doing them outside under a tarp,
Yeah.
8 feet away outside.
Yeah.
And only like 3 or 4 people total outside lessons. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Outdoors is not so threatening,
For sure. Yeah.
And I have a setup where the chairs are 8 feet apart. And if we get really paranoid, we can wheel in a plexiglass window between us. Haven't had to do that yet.
Yeah, well, I think you'll be okay. This is really a convenient way to do it. It's just really amazing the time that we live in where I've
I
always
feel so
wanted to take
lucky. I feel
lessons.
so lucky, man, because everybody's losing their jobs. People are eating shit really bad, you know. And like, I have a job. I teach at a university. I teach lessons and I teach classes at the university. And the university didn't lay anybody off. They just converted everybody to Zoom lessons. All the classes are in Zoom. So I'm still
Yeah,
teaching my classes online, and all my lessons are online. And then my private lessons I was teaching at the music store, most of those guys have quit. A few of those have stuck with it and they're going online.
yeah,
And a couple are doing the in-person ones outside. So
yeah,
that's, I just feel like I'm lucky I can still have somewhat of a job,
yeah, yeah.
at the university, so I should count my blessings, because that's really, I mean, if I didn't have that job, I'd be really freaking out.
Yeah, it's been really tough on a lot of people. My timing was just, for this, if there was such a good thing, it was right because I just finished a big project for a guy, and so it worked out really well. So I'm not stressed out or anything, but a lot of people are really stressed out. I've been trying to help as many people as I can within reason, but there's only so much I can do myself.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky that the technology allows us to do online
Yeah,
lessons, really. I tried teaching Skype lessons about 10 years ago, and I didn't like it because the internet connections were awful.
yeah,
The audio was awful. The webcams were really low quality back then. And I just got too frustrated with Skype.
yeah,
So I swore off it. And then lately I've was been forced to go back to doing online. Tried Skype, tried Zoom. Zoom seems to be clearer video,
yeah.
but Skype has more bandwidth for audio.
Oh, is that right?
So I'm doing my bass lessons on Skype because
Gotcha.
the Zoom doesn't pick up the bass frequencies below 233 hertz.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know
That's a
that.
B
Yeah.
flat. Yeah, B flat. The sixth fret on the bass is B flat, and Zoom doesn't pick up the notes very well after that, below that. But I mean, Skype does. It's just the video is a much lower resolution on Skype.
Yeah.
So yeah, well,
Yeah, I've been taking lessons from a guy in Toronto, my flamenco instructor on Skype for about 3 years, and we've had, I would say, 95% success. But honestly, I like Zoom better, and this is great, man. I've always wanted to take lessons with you,
really
and I was like, oh, he's doing it on Zoom now. How cool! So this just is perfect.
excellent. Let's take a look at this sheet here.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna jump down to 5.00.
Yes.
How to hold your left hand, the classical form. So that's gonna look like this. Thumb behind the neck. Not like that. Not like that. Just like this. Like you're holding a big orange,
Okay.
or I should say, what, grapefruit? Or do they have Trader Joe's in Colorado?
A few of them, not too
Yeah.
many.
So you would know what a pomelo is, right?
Pomelo. It's like grasping a
It's like a
pomelo.
yellow grapefruit. So you're holding a big softball or something. So you want to put your thumb behind the tips of your fingers,
Okay.
and you want to curve your fingers like this. You don't want to straighten it out like that.
Okay.
So curve the fingers and just hold them down. And what you're doing is you're putting the tips of the fingers on the string like that, see?
Okay.
And you just do the Zen thing where you sit there and you just try to feel what that feels like and notice what the tips of the fingers feel like. And that's all you gotta do. It's like a Zen thing where you just sit there and you feel it and you notice what it feels like.
Okay.
And then you just move up every 4 frets. So you do accuracy like this.
It's
So
like
you see,
my
so here,
second and third finger are closer to each other than the first and second.
let's see what you got. That looks good. So we're just going like this. Then you go up to the 5th fret. Then you go up to the 9th fret.
Okay.
Every 4 frets like this. There it is. There it is. Okay, so here's the deal. I got to stop saying that. Joe Biden says that all the time. Look, here's the deal. Where am I?
Yeah. Who am I?
Who am I? I got to check with Larry on that one. God, I can't stand him. Terrible.
I think you and I are going to get along pretty well.
I mean, he's a good guy, but man, come on, man.
Uncle Joe.
Ugh.
He should be driving like one of those 70s Trans Ams, I think.
If I was in a room talking to him, I'd talk to him like this. So, can you tell us about your foreign policy? I don't think he'd notice. All right, so we're doing that one, right? We do it on all the strings.
Okay.
Because all the strings have a different thickness. All right, so the next one is the spider. Okay, the spider. We put all 4 fingers on one string, like that. And we lift up the middle 2 and put them on the next string. Then the outer 2, middle 2, outer 2, middle 2, outer 2, like that. See?
It's kind of like walking and chewing bubble gum at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see you do it. I didn't know you could sing.
A lot of talents.
There you go. Not bad for your first day, huh?
And then you go back up and do the same thing.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Wow.
What kind of amp is that?
That is a dual rectifier.
Yay.
I have all this really cool stuff, but I don't know how to use it. So
That's all right. All right, now the next one on the spider, we're going to do this. The Spock.
okay.
So it's like that.
Ah. Wow.
Okay, then the third one of my students called this a centipede, where you go like this.
Ah. Yep.
And don't worry, nobody can do this on their first day. So as a precursor to this, just do this.
Oh, I see. Wow, that's interesting.
Okay, so here's what we did. We did all these up to 5.23
Okay.
for the left hand.
Cool.
Okay?
Okay.
So you got your right hand and your left hand preliminary exercises.
I got my work cut out for me for the week.
Yeah, and I just sent you this in your email already.
Great.
Okay, so I'm kind of out of time here.
Yep.
So I'll see you next week, same time.
Yeah, that sounds good. So do you just send out like the meeting link like you did today? Is that how you normally do it?
Yeah, but the kid who's before you, he kind of goes overtime sometimes because he's super badass talented, you know. That's JP.
Yeah.
JP is really talented, so I kind of try to nurture him a little bit.
Don't worry about it. I'm like super flexible, and this is the end of the day for me, so it doesn't matter. Just anytime you're available.
Okay, cool. All right.